Hello, this is Pastor Rita from Jewel City Church here in Shinston. And today I'd like to share some devotions with you, but I'm going to tell you a little story. I think if told correctly, even adult loves a good story. This is a children's story. I was a children's pastor for 25 years, and I love kids. So bear with me as I tell you this little children's story. Once there was a little fella, and he had an odd name. It was different. His name was Whosoever. And one day, Whosoever heard that the king was coming to town. And Whosoever wanted the king to come into his heart house. He wanted so for the king to visit him and to come into his heart house. But you see, Whosoever had a dirty heart house. He did all these things, and he had all of these things in his life, and he was said, oh, the king won't come into my heart because my heart is dirty. So he went out and sat on his front steps, and as he sat there, a little girl comes skipping by. And she said, Whosoever, you look so sad. She said, can I help you? And he says, well, the king's coming to town and my heart house is dirty and I can't clean it. She says, I'll help you clean your house. He said, you will? So she went right up the steps and went in. And when she went in Whosoever's heart house, she went over in the corner and stood and folded her arms. And she said, I'm not going to help you. And he said, what do you mean? Who are you? She said, my name is Miss Tell Lies. And now I'm in your heart too. So now Whosoever was really discouraged. He goes back out and sits on his front steps again. About that time, a little boy comes by on his bike and says, I'll help you. And Whosoever said, okay, come on up. So he walked up the steps to Whosoever's house. And when he got in, he said, I'm not going to help you either, Whosoever. And Whosoever said, oh no, who are you? He said, my name is Mr. Bad Habits, and now I'm in your heart as well. So here was Whosoever. He had dirty heart anyway, and now he tells lies, and now he has Mr. Bad Habits. So he goes back out and sits on the porch again, sadder than ever. When somebody else comes by and says, I'll help you, Whosoever says, no, thank you. I've had all the help I can have. And he says, no, I wasn't going to help you. He said, see the church down the road there? He said, the pastor lives beside the church. He said, if you would just go to that church and go next door and knock on the pastor's door, I'm sure the pastor could help you. So Whosoever, so thrilled, he diddy-bops down the road. He goes to the parsonage and he knocks on the door, and he looks up and he sees this big, tall pastor. And he said, are you the pastor of this church over here? The pastor said, yes. He said, maybe you can help me. I've got a dirty heart house. I tell lies. I've got bad habits. And the king's coming to town. The pastor says, I can. Come on in and have a seat. So Whosoever went in and he sat, and pastor opened up the Bible and he turned to John 3:16, where it said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him, and whosoever, his mouth flew open, his eyes got wide. He said, is my name in that book? Whosoever, that's me. I'm a whosoever. And he said, whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. He said, whosoever, I got good news for you. You don't have to clean your house. You go on home, and when the king comes, you just flag him down and tell him that you want him to come in your heart house. He was so excited, he ran all the way home. And when he knew the king was coming, he saw the flags, he saw the banners, he heard the music. He flagged him down and he said, King, I want you to come into my heart house, but it's dirty and I tell lies. I've tried to clean it. King Jesus said, that doesn't matter. All you have to do is ask. And King Jesus walked up his steps, went into his heart house, and he wasn't in there very long till out come Miss Tell Lies, out come Mr. Bad Habits. And when Jesus waved goodbye to Whosoever that day, Whosoever had a clean heart house. Today, I don't care who you are watching, you are a Whosoever. And Jesus loves you, and he died for you, and he said, whosoever believeth in him. So once again, I just want to say to the Whosoever Christians, if you need Jesus to come up to your house and do some refinishing touches on you, or to heal any hurts or pains or anxiety, he'll do that. And if you don't know Jesus, you're a Whosoever. He wants to walk up your steps, and he wants to save your soul. And we here at Jewel City would be glad to help you with that. That's why we're here. That's what we do. Just call our church office, 304 592-5678. Call one of the pastors or call someone on staff and let us, you, whosoever, let us introduce you to this King Jesus who can change your life forever. Thanks for watching. God bless.
For additional Christ-centered content, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, and check out the Jewel City Podcast.